Do 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 do
Fancy.
do 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 do. On this episode of Keyboards Tonight, Huey didn't prepare a proper intro. Hugo becomes a hobo, and Huey holds a gun. Find out more on this episode of Keyboards Tonight.
You,
Hello,
you didn't
everyone.
mention me.
I am Huey, aka Man of Interests, joined by my co-host Hugo, and today we have a very special guest. Today we have Lightning Keyboards. Welcome, Diego, as our guest on Keyboards Tonight. How are you doing today?
Hello. I'm a first timer here. No, I'm just kidding. This is my third time on keyboards tonight. Hello, everybody.
Thank you. Welcome. Hey, welcome back. Our fans are really happy to have you on. It's always exciting, good discussion every time you're here.
Yeah. Speaking of discussions, there's something I want to address. I've noticed quite a bit. We've already addressed it on the show, but I think it's like I feel like I need to drive the point home every episode. But knobs. At this point, I think
Knobs?
knobs really are like some kind of like disease on a keyboard.
What do you mean disease? Like I know a few things about diseases, like in medicine, but yeah. What do you mean? What are you talking about?
No, I think I kind of get it. Like, there's so many boards with knobs and just infecting corners of keyboards, and it's something that's really expanded in the last year.
I mean, I don't know. At corners, well, I have a problem with corners and knobs, but I don't see a problem with knobs themselves.
You know what? I think there is an issue, and I think more people need to pay attention to this like knob epidemic going around all these different ones. And because I've wanted to pay attention to it, I assigned someone on our staff to look into it. So I'd like to start the show off with a special report from one of our field reporters, Hugh Berto. Hugh Berto, take it away. Hello, everyone. Huberto here with Knob Watch 2021. There have been a lot of keyboards in the last couple years afflicted with knobs, as we've all seen. Whether it's one knob, two knobs, or even boards with three knobs, we've seen them. On 60%, Alice layouts, TKLs, and whatever other layouts people find popular for whatever reason, it's bad. Okay, it's bad. A large player that's been recently afflicted by the knob is the GMMK Pro. But this isn't the first time we've seen a knob from a larger player. Corsair and Cooler Master have had knobs on their K series and MK850 respectively. Corsair's affliction has even gotten worse with the K100. It has two different knobs. Sure, in the past they've tried to hide their knobs with some cosmetic surgery, but you know a knob when you see one. With all these knobs appearing everywhere, what is the World Keyboard Organization doing about this epidemic? We've seen very little in the international community against the rise of knobs. Already, there's been a tragedy in so many communities around the world. Earlier in the month, I talked to a victim of the knobs.
The knobs. They came so fast. At first, when we saw one knob in our village, we didn't think too much of it. I mean, knobs will be knobs is what we all thought, but before we knew it, the next door neighbors, they were knobbed. The week after that neighborhood. And after a whole month, I heard our whole village is already knobbed. I fled early before it got really bad. I have a family to look after. My little angel. She's at 40%, and imagine just how devastating a knob would be on her. It pains me to even think about. Our government just hasn't given us enough support in these trying times, and that makes it tough. I'm worried about letting my angel go to school because there could be some keyboards walking around unaware that they're carrying the knob, and, well, next thing you know, she brings the knob home, and my mother, who's old, is, well, I hate to have my daughter responsible for that. Please open your eyes, everyone. Be careful. Be careful before the knobs get you.
Another tragic story due to knobs, and unfortunately, the story doesn't end there. As a routine follow-up after the interview, my staff tried to contact our guest, but unfortunately, he'd caught the knob, and it was already too late. We best recommend avoid getting the knob. we highly recommend you refrain from any sexual activity with your keyboard. I'm Huberto with Knobwatch 2021. Back to the studio.
What? Wow, I didn't know it was that serious.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I mean that was interesting, Huey. So I'm gonna guess you're not getting any knobs, buying any knobs this year, Huey.
Well, I mean, yeah, no, it's not gonna. It's already one of my New Year's resolutions is don't get a knob keyboard, but whatever. Hey, but speaking of, it's end of the month. Have you guys got any New Year's resolutions for keyboards? Have you guys failed any New Year's resolutions yet?
I told myself that this year we're gonna unbox a keyboard that isn't scuffed out of the box with the KFE, and it came extremely scuffed, and so yeah, I failed. I'm sorry, guys. I let you down.
Wait, really?
Yeah, my KFE has like 6 marks on it, both like slightly visible,
Oh.
assembled. The weight is scuffed, like the white weight on the back has a mark on it. Yeah, it's been not great, not a good start for QCing this year.
For me, New Year's resolutions. I mean, one of the big ones is restructuring my room and stuff. But for that, I'm actually still waiting on my new desk. I actually ordered it back in November, but it's delayed until February because that's what Uplift Desk does to you. They back order your stuff, and it gets delayed for 2.5 months. But so yeah, I'm still waiting. So we'll see if I succeeded my New Year's resolution. But yeah, not yet. I'm still waiting.
Are you doing any other stream renovations other than a desk?
At home, I mean, not really. Like, I mean, like we recently got like a Peloton bike in my in our like living area and stuff. So like
But
my
like all
roommates
three of
and I.
you, like or however many
Well,
roommates
like
you
it's
have?
one of my roommates, but like we can use it too. So yeah. So we've just been like readjusting parts of the living room. Like I got a few like smart devices for home and stuff. So there's been some home stuff I've been doing recently, but yeah, it's not like a lot, not too much. Especially with the lockdown and stuff, there's no reason to kind of, yeah, like overdo it. I think we're mostly just like working in our rooms and stuff. So
I wish my form of exercise was that cool. You got a Peloton in your living room. I just spent $80 and I just got a Ring Fit. I'm like, this is good enough.
Wait, I thought you said
Just
you
do
go on
more
your bike a
core.
lot. What happened to that?
It's cold, and I'm lazy.
You're in California.
cold.
Don't give me the it's cold.
Hey, dude, it's
okay? You
relatively
don't have it as
cold.
cold as everyone else here.
It's relatively cold.
It's relatively cold. Oh no, I have to put on my Patagonia sweater today. Like, come on.
Hey, I'm not.
Oh
from
yeah,
NorCal.
it's
I don't
like
have a
50
Patagonia
degrees.
sweater.
It's so cold.
I don't live in the Bay Area. I don't wear Patagonia.
Patagonia.
Is it really cold though? Like in SoCal?
I mean,
Yeah, how cold does it get?
No, so I'm in Central Cal, which is technically like a desert. It's like 45 at
True.
night for me. Down to
I don't know
40.
what that means.
Oh,
in Free
come
America.
on.
I mean, in
You
the
can
day
just-
it goes up to 85. So I mean, like for us, it's like we've a big range of. It can be warm to it can be cold for us.
It rains in California.
the
You
the
just told
big
me this-
rain.
It rained all last week, surprisingly.
Who knows? That might be
Oh,
all the
man.
rain for the year.
Oh no, that is so
You know,
sad.
it probably is. We've already lost all of our rain for the year. I have a few other keyboard New Year's resolutions though. I mean, I have some more like stream renovation stuff. I recently got a new table that people can see on stream now. It looks nice. You guys will see it on.
Ooh,
Build
that's
Stream
nice.
Coming up. Got some like revamp stuff. I finally got like a proper C stand for my overhead camera. But I really want to, in terms of like keyboard stuff. I mean, I've so far so good. Been like doing one episode of This Week in Keyboards every week. I don't know if I'll keep to it. It's very difficult some weeks, very easy other weeks. That and I try to want to fit in like starting next month, like 2 full length reviews a month is what like I hope I can do.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
You're
So,
crazy, man.
damn. Well, I still want to try to hit partner. I still haven't, so
Almost
I'm
there,
gonna have to
bud.
reapply.
Yeah.
I mean, but to do that, I need to stream more. I've been actually very busy because I'm back in school. and so like I'm barely managing to stream like 2 times a week, and like I think they need like 3 on average, and then like I'm about to send my mic for RMA soon because it apparently has like issues with like electrical grounding, possibly like it gets all staticky and stuff every so often. Yeah, so it's just kind of in taking a pause, like the whole keyboard thing, where like it's slowing
Yeah,
down
like a
for
lot of people
sure,
going back to school,
which is not
and
great.
stuff.
Yeah, it's just keeping me busy though.
Wait, Huey, speaking of your new desk, it's a rising desk that's manual.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
it's
maybe
a Home
that's where
Depot
your
desk.
maybe that's where your workout can come.
That's true. That's true.
Is it like the old Windows, like the car
Yeah,
like
Windows,
the
where you like
cranker.
crank?
Wah, 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 wah. Yep.
Oh, make sure you alternate arms. You don't want one like really bigger than the other. But yeah, like aside from that, I think like this year, if anyone had any outdoor goals, it's gonna be like pretty tough to stay on New Year's resolution goals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
I mean, like outdoor stuff. I kind of wish I had more outdoors resolutions, but with
Yeah, but
all the
what can
travel
you
that's
even
been
do in New York?
suspended.
Yeah.
I mean, in New York, at least, because there's a lot of parks. There's still like, I mean, like aside from Central Park, there's quite a lot of parks, and you can actually like go on like the running or biking trails and stuff too. Like there is stuff to do out there. It's just, yeah, right now it's kind of cold though. Like I think we've been hitting like 20 Fahrenheit like recently, so yeah, it's been getting colder.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, I mean, also people like financially because like COVID, right? Like, so a lot of people are struggling financially. Except, I guess, like with Americans getting the new checks from the government, you guys can spend a bit more. And then, speaking of spending, I decided to take a look at additional spending that you may not anticipate when you get into keyboards.
Okay, let's take a look at that clip.
After a young man was found broke in the streets, begging to trade a keyboard for a month's worth of rent, we discovered they were part of this hobby known as custom mechanical keyboards, a hobby that is sweeping a few hundreds of individuals across the globe. And apparently, it's all the rage, some professionals earning serious money. But can a hobby really cause someone to spiral out of control financially? We take a look at what the real cost truly is.
Please, I'm so hungry. $2,000 for a keyboard? Dude, I can get this off Amazon for like $10. Why would anyone do this?
We brought in a custom keyboard builder and asked him what additional cost he encountered. So how much have you actually spent on your tools here? Probably $300 to $400. I mean, like this solder iron, the TS100, yeah, it only cost me $120. I mean, I started with a $40 one, but the moment I saw Wildcat continue to use this one, I knew I had to upgrade. I mean, I can't just be seen using a $40 iron for a $2,000 board. What about those tools over there? Oh, these? Yeah, so this is my Wear a Screwdriver set. I mean, it costs like $80, but I mean, if I'm going to be screwing in and out a lot, I might as well have the nicest screws possible. I mean, I started with this iFixit kit, but we're not really fixing anything here because we're building pieces of art. Now, you may be wondering about shipping. Surely, a hobby as innocent as this one has reasonably priced shipping, but the answer may surprise you. And do you actually get free shipping? Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff off Amazon, the shipping is free, which is pretty nice. I mean, these dumbbells I got for free. I can't go to the gym, so, gotta work out at home. So, yeah, it's been pretty great. Well, what about the actual keyboard? Oh, well, this only costs about $90 to ship from Singapore. I mean, it's a pretty good steal. Is it? Yeah, that is a pretty good steal. Considering I only got it for 2.75 times the original price, I mean, $90 is basically pocket change. And this thing is like, I don't know, 12 kilos. I mean, the heavier, the better, because heavier is quality. And I don't want to just cheap out on budget shipping.
As you can see, the rabbit hole runs deep. But what if their pockets run even deeper? We look at someone who has spent even more on tools.
So what can you actually tell me about what you have over there?
This is the FR301, the best gun for non-Americans and the 9th safest gun for Americans.
What do you mean by that?
Well, this is a gun I can take to school without appearing on the nightly news. But honestly, a gun like this is the best. It has everything you need. Wonderful trigger action, ergonomic shape and design. You need to get a good $300 tool to build $1,500 keyboards, because that's the way you do it. But hey, as long as you're building over 60%, this is the perfect tool for you.
And what do you mean by that?
Come on. If you're a 40%, if you're a little pipsqueak, right? Just use a solder sucker, baby. Just use your solder sucker. Get that thumb action going on. Bro, for all the big boys, can't go wrong with a gun.
And that's all I have for now. Up next, 3 people dead in a switch swallowing contest. Organizer blames contestants for not lubing their throats with premium grease. Yo, Hugo! Yo, there's a guy selling a key code. Yeah, 2,000. PayPal shipped. Yeah, it's Canadian. Yeah. Okay, I'll see you there. Okay, bye.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Good job, Hugo.
Okay, thank you.
Oh my god. Good. Yeah. Good job. Thanks for that investigation. I think next we should talk about a board that doesn't have that high of a cost. 2.75 times the original price compared to the fancy customs we have in our community, right? But still making waves. So, like, what do you think we can talk about?
Is it the Portico?
No, not the Portico. That'll probably be bad.
I think we're talking about the one and only, the GMMK Pro.
Hey, exactly. Let's talk about the GMMK Pro. So I know that the GMM Glorious just had their stream recently on the Glorious PC Twitch channel. So let's talk about that for a bit. So what do you think, Huey? You watched it?
Yeah, I watched it. Watching it on 2 times speed still wasn't fast enough.
It didn't leave your mental image fast.
Yeah, it was. I watched at two times speed, which is an hour. I'm not getting back.
I feel like I don't need to tell anyone I watched it. Most people know that I watched.
So here's one of the things, right? Like they're trying to aim that board to a lot of keyboard prosumers, but the way that stream was done, how they done it, who they did it with, and everything, seemed basically as a poor explanation to mechanical keyboards using their own mechanical keyboard.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was that angle they tried to take, where they were like, "Oh, this is built like with targeted with ideas from the custom community," but then it had almost no way of explaining any about it. Yeah.
Like for most of people who probably watch this show and us ourselves, right? If we were gonna do like an enthusiast version of that, we would be asking more about the stabilizers. We'd be talking about the plate mounting system. We'd talk about relevant shit we care about. And I feel like it was just 2 hours. It was a 2-hour unboxing.
Oh, was that a real line? I don't even remember that. We use screw-in stabs so the stabs won't fall out. I've never even seen clip-ins fall out. I've never even
seen
fancy.
Screw-in stabs? Whoa.
It's like a bit more stable. And we have goat stabilizers, by the way.
Yeah, goats can stand on mountains.
Goat
they're stable AF. I just
that was wild.
I've never seen anything like it. Like, they brought in a pro expert who I've seen before, like on YouTube, and I thought the reviews were decent. And then like it feels like the gap between prosumer 60% boards and like full customs has just gotten bigger. Like I thought the gap was closing, and I'm just wrong.
Yeah, I mean that could be it. That whole stream just felt like so mismanaged in terms of like optics of like who it's for versus who the board is for versus like how they tried to like market some of the features. I don't know. It just seems like it just doesn't seem like it was thought out. I don't know. Like,
Are you gonna get one?
Yeah.
I mean, probably we'll get one to review at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Best of luck.
Yeah, I
on
mean,
it.
I'll check it out if someone else like sends it to like for me to like check, like take a look at it or something.
Yeah, I want
but
to take a
don't-
look because
I personally don't really want to buy one because I just don't find a need for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I want to review one for the sake of reviewing it because I feel like even if it's just answering questions I have for myself, because it felt like that entire stream answered 0 questions for me.
Yeah.
Like,
It answers no questions.
didn't help me at all understand.
Yeah,
There's one part that
I don't know.
spent like 3-4 minutes like talking about how like the engraving on the back was deep, so you could feel the letters. I'm like,
With your
it's
fingers,
engraved in the
yeah.
back. That's all you have to say. Come on.
Or like the RGB, a lot of RGB stuff.
Yeah,
like
the
focusing
full
on like the brightness
RGB color
stuff.
range for your eyes. You know,
Yeah.
it's like,
everyone
oh
needs it.
wow, every RGB LED has 16.8 million colors these days.
Don't
Get
get
over
me
your-
wrong.
Get over
I
yourself.
think it is great value. I think it's great value, and like based
Yeah.
on just the spec sheet, but nothing else, it like feels like a decent board to have, especially if this is your first custom or anything close to that. But like,
Yeah.
our problem here isn't about the board at all. It's actually just about how that stream and how the marketing was managed. It felt really, really strange.
Yeah.
There was a lot of mismatch between basically what was like kind of like what's being promised versus what was being shown. Like the whole like, I mean, there was like the obviously like the weight difference too. Like it was like, oh, like 3 pounds, that's really chunky, you know, and
Like silver versus
you know,
white.
like yeah, like yeah, like
Oh,
it was supposed to be
yeah,
like
they
ice
originally-
white or something,
yeah,
but
it was
it's
supposed to be-
actually just silver animal,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I thought we were
Yeah.
gonna get some kind of like white powder coat, white paint,
And
like
then when
white
they
something.
and then when people called them out, they're like, "No, dummy, you can't anodize white." And we're like, "That's not what we asked." Yeah, it was like you promised white. We didn't ask for ano. Yeah, it's very
You know,
strange.
one of these is not like the other.
Yeah.
I have a question. One thing I don't understand about like I'm not sure if you guys saw, but one of the accessories is like the keycap puller, but they use those ring ones with the little prongs in glorious orange, by the way.
And they said it was
but, like,
premium.
do those even like actually work? Because I mean, like like a regular keycap puller, right? Like
I
like,
had
the
them
wires
before.
actually
They-
can like the wires can actually open all the way up
They-
to like fit. Like
they
They
in
work,
work,
but they're
piece,
really
too.
shitty. Like, just
Yeah.
don't use those. Just use a whisk. If
Just use
yeah,
a wire puller. Yeah.
I don't know why they don't just include
I don't get
a
it.
wire puller. Other
You were
OEMs
honestly,
now include
They're like
wire
a fraction
pullers.
of a dollar.
it's
for them.
honestly easier to get 2 forks to like grab the side of your keycap to pull up than it is to like use that shitty ring.
Why not do it with like what should I call it? Like a dental
you're better with like 4 pieces of dental floss, just like ripping it up. Like it's honestly like
floss.
yeah, you're better off flossing it. Yeah, there's a clip of me with it. I think
Paper
the
clips
funniest
work
moment.
better. I've used paper clips before to take out keycaps.
I've used paper clips before too,
Yeah.
actually, because there was like one keyboard that had like this super tight
Right.
Radio.
I had
enclosure.
the thing.
Yeah.
One of my favorite moments in that stream though was when one of the hosts had a Rama puller on stream, and then people in chat was pointing it out, and she tried to hide it, like pretend that it was never there, because 30 seconds earlier when they unboxed it, they said it comes with a premium switch puller, and she was using the Rama one instead.
And she was a glorious employee too.
Yeah, and
Oh really?
and then
Yeah.
and then she pretended like she didn't know who Rama was, and she just blamed it on.
She's like, oh, it's some random keycap.
Yeah, I've never
switch
seen it
puller
before.
My husband had.
My husband dropped it off here while you guys weren't looking. Like he just dropped it on my desk. I don't know what this is. I thought that was the funniest thing I've ever
I mean, all that
seen.
still could be
Awkward.
true, but like optically, it looks really bad if you're not going to use a freaking switch puller that's supposed to be included with the freaking board.
Yeah, like
Me type
optics
of
is bad,
saying-
but it's also bad to pretend you don't know who your competitors are. Like yeah, at that point you could just say it. Like,
Are,
oh, I was
are
just
they really competitors? I feel
Like,
it's
no,
like
but, like,
Little
they could have
League
just
versus
pretended.
Major League, dude.
They could have
Like,
just pretended. They could have pretended. They could have been like, "Oh, I was just trying to see if this nice puller that Rama includes is comparable with our puller." And then they go, "But yeah, like they look different, but they like still operate the same way." Like that could have been the easiest, like off the cuff like answer
Yeah,
there.
we just wanted to make
And-
sure our switch pullers were up to par with some of the
Like
best in the
work.
communities. She
Yeah,
said
like that could have been. But they they took the worst possible route.
Apparently they said it's my husband's, but I mean I don't know.
Yeah, and then she was like, "Oh, my husband's the one into keyboards, not even me." And it's like, so wait, so are you qualified
Wait,
to
wait, wait,
do
wait.
this
But
review?
did she also have like GMK?
She had
Yeah,
Like
she
a
had
Olivia.
nice
no, she had
Olivia
Olivia,
Desmat, and
and on
like
top of a Switch Couture Electrotype 87. Like it's not a
yeah,
keyboard
right.
acrylic.
I was like, it was all custom stuff, like the usual custom
Yeah,
stuff.
and then
And I
she was
was
like,
like,
"Oh, my RGB's not as good as this one," and I was like, "What are you talking about? Like that's
They're both
some of
they're
the
both fine. They're both fine.
yeah." I was like, "Wait, they're like the same."
oh,
It's just very strange to me.
Oh.
oh goodness.
If you were on that stream, what would you ask? If you're
I don't know. Do you think
that
it
position?
depends how contractually you're allowed what you're allowed to say?
That's the thing, right? Because it was on their stream. It wasn't on Switch and was
Yeah, like
Switch
I just
Play?
have no idea what
Yeah.
they
It
was
was
allowed
on
to have.
on Glorious's
It
like
was
the
on their
guys.
actual channel. So I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know what kind of agreement goes on
Do you
behind
think
the
it was
scenes.
like that blink twice if you're like if you're supposed to cut the line, right? If you're supposed to stop.
I mean,
It's it. Yeah.
Zerp does mention, there has to be talking points. They seem contrived. I mean, any kind of video that has like a sponsorship where they're going to cover any kind of product, that's normal to have talking points. It just depends on how seamlessly or how effectively the communicator can like integrate talking points. Having talking points is something normal that you'd expect that video to have. It's just if they're not done well. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, 2-hour unboxing. Would you guys ask anything? You guys
I
had the
would-
board. You guys had
feel like if
employees there who were supposed to ask questions, who were supposed to answer questions.
I feel like if I was there, I would just lose it. I would just like build like because they did it. They tried to do this thing where to stretch out the stream. It felt like to like take apart the keyboard, even though it was hot swap, then put it back together, then put the switches on it. I feel like I could have done that in like 20 minutes because I mean, like we're all builders here. Like we would have. I don't think there's a way I could have resisted just ignoring what the stream was doing and then just like do the whole assembly and ignore everyone else. Like
Yeah.
and I just would have built it because I would be super interested in how it sounds, right?
Yeah, there were several things. There was no typing. There was also like, I mean, the lady talked about something about I think it was like when she was testing the RGB and like she was like, oh, like from a programmer's perspective, like it's nice when you see the actual product, something. And then like I was hoping they would show like the UI or something like that of like
Yeah.
whatever they're
program.
using to
Yeah, that
program
was
it.
so weird
They
that
didn't
they
show that either because I was like, oh, like it seems like they have this controlling like this controller down, right? Like it seems like they actually have a tool. Like maybe they have a UI or something, and they both have it. Like they're both using it, but they didn't show that either. Like I was like, oh, is it comparable to like QMK Via or like what's the deal?
Yeah, because they said
I
it was
mean,
compatible
it's
with
supposed
VIA.
to be user friendly. Yeah. It's
So I
supposed to
was
be like
hoping
very
they
friendly for
reskinned VIA
beginners.
actually.
So
Like I thought like a really cool thing they could have done was, hey, we made it like a bridge app like that could connect to your other GMMK stuff, or sorry, Gloria stuff with this keyboard and it still maps to VIA. Like that would have been super sick. That would have been
Yeah.
super hot. But like I
So,
don't
like,
know what the app does. Like I don't even know what it looks like.
wouldn't that also mean kind of
VIA's
moving to
not closed source,
QMK though? Because I mean, because VIA works on top of QMK, so like they would have to move everything over to QMK.
Yeah, they would have to have QMK underlying it. Yeah, sure.
And Zerp is right. VIA is not open source. Like you can't like you can contribute to VIA by adding like by putting a PR for keyboards that like let's say you design a keyboard and you wanted to enable compatibility from QMK to VIA, then you can submit your PR for that. But you can't like, for example, you can't make changes to the actual software. That's closed.
Yeah.
That's all managed by the VIA team, which is like Olivia, Wilda, a few other people.
Isn't the code open or is it just the like being able to commit to it? Oh, the code is not open. It's just the okay. I see. Yeah, well, I mean, like it'd be cool if because they said via /QMK, right? So I mean, if they found a way to map on top of QMK, right? Same thing, right? It'd be like just as beneficial. But it is what it is.
I really wish they went more on the talking points of like the mounting system, the typing feel, even though what's their name used like glorious pandas on some of this on like the alphas, but not even all the alphas, and then burgundies, pro burgundies on the others.
Because
Oh my
apparently
god!
she was unlimited number, and she didn't think about it, and she put it into another keyboard, and I was like, "What? How
Like
do you forget that?"
mixing and matching switches like that is it's not even like alpha and then mod split because they use like the burgundies on like apostrophe and colon, even though those are alpha keys instead of using the glorious pandas, and like seeing that just like drove me up the wall. Which is like if you're gonna mix and match different switches, at least like be consistent of mods and alphas or alphas and mods, not like today
Yeah.
I'm gonna decide a colon is now a modifier when it's obviously not. Um, yeah. I wish I mean if I was there I would have asked more about I would just try to show more of the typing feel, typing sounds. I mean we had the setups to do that, maybe they didn't. And that's why they
I thought it was
couldn't.
weird that she thought that, like, let's pretend that her headset mic does pick it up at all times. I was like, come on, you've got to know that there's no way that is at all like accurate. Like, no one's expecting that to do it. It was just so weird that it was so underprepared, and it's kind of strange because I've seen her on YouTube record sounds of her typing, and then for her to not have that mic somehow available to her PC, it's like just I think the strangest thing, right? Like that doesn't make any sense. Like maybe she's not a streamer. That's totally fine. That's totally reasonable. But I just thought it was really odd that you come on a you know a review ish show of a specific board and like not be prepared for the number one thing that I think people are interested in, right? Which is how does the keyboard
Yeah.
sound? Because like translating feel is like you know kind of verbal jargon. Like people have difficulty describing feel all the time.
Someone says I don't think they intended to show sound but felt pressure, so she did it as a half measure.
But
Do you
aren't
think
those
that's
like the final prototypes anyways? Like won't it be how it's going to sound? Like they're not gonna make any major changes as far as I know.
So many units, like it's kind of too late for people to like cop out, right? Like I'm pretty sure there were no refund pre-purchases. I don't know. I didn't pre-purchase.
It's hard to say, but I think regardless of all we have our complaints about the stream itself, but I mean more so on the stream and how the stream was conducted than the board, at least, right? At least for now, until someone reviews the freaking thing.
Yeah, yeah. So Apocalypse brings up a good point. It's kind of like how Rama will publish a sound test.
During
The sound,
during the group
yeah,
buy.
yeah, during the group buy, or like they'll even do a thing where I remember when they moved and they like had to like schedule out a typing test sound, and like even though they didn't have the most optimal setup, they at least showed it. They did a real typing test on it. Sure, the sound wasn't perfect or whatever their expectations were, but they did it, and it was like yeah, like just for comfort for people who are trying to make up their minds, right? I just think it's like a minimum of like what you could do to inform your potential customers. Like that's the least you could do, right? To give them some sense of what are we purchasing, right?
Yeah, I guess we'll see. I mean, once people start, I mean, when they actually like get these made and like, people start getting them. I mean, like I don't know how much like what will come out of it. I mean, like it seemed like at first glance though, like they actually did like have like a keyboard that does seem to like work as intended, but again, I don't think the stream really, as you said, like showcased all that pretty well. I mean, maybe they'll do a second one. I don't know. I mean, who knows?
I hope they're willing to like re-explore that concept, but with like other members of the community as well to get a more varied feedback and more
Yeah.
varied opinions on showing it off to their audiences. Because I mean, like,
Yeah.
all three of us would definitely take a look at that keyboard, in person, much differently than that stream, and differently from each other as well as we focus on different, it's the same and different things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I mean, I don't know if they'll bring anyone else on. I don't know if anyone else is like given that offer because I think the thing with most of us, unless you're like Teja or Alex or AP or someone with like 300, 200 like
Someone
plus
with
range.
clout.
Yeah, someone with big clout, or someone who's a partner on Twitch. Only they'll get the chance. I'm pretty certain about that.
There's a
Like,
good
could
number
you
of
ever
them.
imagine
So-
Black Diamond reviewing a GMMK Pro like sponsored stream?
Well,
Like,
Well,
hell,
I'd love it.
will
I'd
he
love
throw
for
it?
that to happen.
Will he
I
throw
paid
it on the
money
bed?
to see it, but it's not happening.
I need Simon to freaking toss it behind him.
Yeah, but I want it to be a bed of Alice's and nothing less.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be a big
Look, if
change.
it,
Yeah, I
here's
mean,
the thing, it's obviously going to quench the thirst of many not as deep pocketed individuals who are looking to get their foot wet in the hobby.
yeah, like, and also looking for that like layout with knob and like gasket mount and all that stuff, RGB.
Yeah,
And
It's gonna be
and
like
hopefully
readily available. So I
just
mean,
like
good for. But I mean, then again, that market's expanding so quickly now. Like, yeah, like there's a Portico, there's NK65, there's like, KD fans is doing their own thing too.
even the
Like,
car
there's
kind of there, a little bit more premium, I'm gonna say, but
yeah, but it's still within the realm of
yeah,
like
of that.
I
like
think
that
it's still
like
within the realm of
bracket.
consideration if you're comparing
Yeah.
in a range. It's in that range still.
Well, also because NK65 is like some of the editions are like what, $200 or something,
The
220 or
aluminum
something
can
like
be
that.
up to 200 if it's E white.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like 180 for aluminum. And
Yeah.
then the polycarb is like $95.
Yeah, but Kara is like 160, so I mean that's what I
Kara's
mean.
160.
Still within
then
it's still within that same bracket.
Really, Kara is 200 because everyone, if you're buying a Kara, get the
Shipping and whatnot.
silicone slab on the inside.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
not getting
Okay,
the damn.
it's 200. It's 200.
play it,
right.
Don't joke anyone. It's 200. You gotta get that $40 silicone slab.
Or the metal slab, but I recommend the silicone one. Okay.
You gotta get one of those, and that's gonna bump it up to 200. So.
Yeah,
Still
and like
in the
people mentioning in
realm, still in the
chat
realm.
also, yeah, like the whole like gasket thing. It's because like I mean, not sure if you guys. I mean, you guys saw in the stream like there's this chunk of foam in the bottom and then this chunk of foam in between. And
Oh, I
then...
heard you really like it when there's foam on the bottom and on the top. I heard that's your favorite.
Wow, you just gave me shit now, huh?
I'm not giving you. I just heard that your favorite.
You just heard it. Okay, okay.
I heard. Look, it's also my favorite. Okay, so don't get it twisted. Okay.
No, that's all
Gasket
good.
has hot marketing. It sounds nice. Everyone wants to say that they have the most pleasurable typing experience, and I don't think there's a way. Let's guys, you guys are saying like Gasket is the meme like marketing thing, but let's spin it the other way. How are you going to advertise that top mount to the average consumer is nice and comfortable? You can't. You can't say, oh, because the screws are aligned to the top of the like you've already lost them. You're like, we're like, what are you fucking talking about, right? Like, it's too.
It's just screws, bro.
Yeah, it's like, the screws are stiff. Aren't they strong? You have to hold it in the like. They're just not gonna understand. Like, and it's like, yeah, it's just easier to say gasket, and it's less.
Yeah, it's
You're not gonna
much
risk
easier for the
stripping it
layperson
or-
these days.
And I think it's
There's
easier
an
for the manufacturer.
association with the material specifically. I mean, it's mostly for me. I think like when someone says gasket, I mean, and like you say like gasket, and then you say like foam or rubber or something like that. There's an association that foam or rubber are soft, or can be soft, and that's why like people make that connection. It's the imagery around it. That's why it's so successful, in my opinion. Because when you talk about just like metallic parts, that's not the association you make when you say like, oh yeah, I put a aluminum plate in top mount, or like half aluminum, even if it's half, right? But like
what
you
is
don't make
that?
the association that it like it's soft in something, or like that it makes a difference, and you just think of it as like, oh, it's all metal construction, which is normally like marketing speak to
It's not high
strong, industrial, high quality gamer keyboard, and but that's not it with gasket. Gasket, when you say gasket and rubber and like foam, and you're like, oh yeah, like soft, bouncy, like feathers on a cloud, or like whatever.
Just like
And
my waifu
that's-
pillow as a fellow gamer. Classic connection. You're so screwing me right now.
God.
One thing I thought just now is that yeah, like I think we're all three of us are excited about Gion's torsion beam mount, right? Like it's just super interesting. It's super new, right? Like kind of untested, kind of unknown. But like I want someone here to try to market me into like convincing a normal person that that's going to be enjoyable to type on. Like it's like, oh, that has car suspension parts. Like, wait, hold on, cars are pretty stiff. Like it doesn't matter if there's a spring in there. It's just easier to say foam, rubber, etc., etc.
Yeah. I mean, there's things coming in the community like by like multiple parties that like I think hold sort of promise in terms of like bringing something a bit different and whatnot. But like you won't know until people prove it, and then that's why it's so important, in my opinion, to like bring it to people who can manage to communicate that, like draw comparisons, like actually like put it into words, like describe it compared to something else, and say like, oh, like this, if you've tried this, then you should know that this feels like this, and then this new thing like feels like this. But like, initially Gasket kind of like didn't have that. Like, I mean, like, because like the way like Gasket Mount sort of came about was because like, there's like key code, and there are like the people who like did like O-ring stuff and the whatever, and people were like, oh, I gotta have that because apparently it's super soft and whatever, like bouncy feely, right?
Do you think they're gonna start
And
trending
it
to,
just
like,
caught on. It just caught on this like super fast train of people being like, I want to make something just like that, and like people started making it.
Yep.
And then but then it was like kind of untested in many ways, or at least like the sample size was very small.
there's no consistent gasket mount. Like, we all have like
So
three
it was
different.
hard to say when it first came out, like, or when people first really started kind of like getting into it, or like at least in the community when it first started becoming like a fad, right? Or like a trend, right? It was relatively untested. Like maybe it was a dozen people,
It took a lot of boards, and it still is getting more and more refined. But like, it took a lot of boards at the beginning
Yeah.
for gasket mounting.
I think it. I mean, it started as like a small group, and then it became a cult, and then it kind of grew from there. I would say.
And then like I'm not gonna. I don't want to filter it out, because honestly, like the way I felt, for example, about the Iron 165 was that the compression was very extreme. For example, like it required a lot of compression for the case to be fully closed. And I heard that like when you use like a half plate or something like that, it much, it kind of like loosens a lot of that tension. But like when I tried it with like a full, like I think it was like a full aluminum plate or something, when I closed it up with the gaskets being compressed and like the case being normally like flush as it should be, it felt pretty stiff. And like, when the Iron 165 was kind of being marketed initially, like there was this whole IC about like, oh, like we did like FEA and like
Oh, I actually absolutely
find
hate
an element analysis, and then like, apparently like, like even typing feel or whatever. I mean, it didn't guarantee anything specific to like the bounciness or springiness or whatever you might want to say, like associated to gasket specifically, but because it already had that implemented into the system, right? You would assume that it would be comparable to the rest of the rest of keyboards that are out there with the same kind of system. But I felt it wasn't quite the case. I mean, then again, I think people's like experience vary with that. I mean, it's the same way I felt about, right? I mean, we talked about this like the Mode 80, right? Like I also felt like it was a bit stiff.
When you get a gasket mount keyboard and it becomes difficult to screw in the case. I think it's like unacceptable. Like, if I have to squeeze your gasket together just to put the keyboard together, like, how did that pass R&D? You know what I mean? Like, so none of the sponge, none of the
But
soft typing feel is actually there. Like, come on, like,
Oh,
there's
I
no.
see what you mean.
Yeah,
like,
if a gasket's too compressed, it's gonna lose.
It depends.
effect.
yeah. Then you're.
Compression to moderation is what's important, right?
Yeah.
Like it's supposed to be like a fractional amount of compression.
It's okay. What do I
Not
think
full.
about the GMMK premium keycaps? Did any of you two look at it?
No, it's probably gonna be PBT something.
Oh yeah, I
okay.
heard. I saw something about that.
We'll have to wait until they have more information, but
It was
I
called
didn't like the images that were linking.
Glorious. Oh yeah, Glorious will be selling $49 or $50 PBT keycaps with an Ascend enter key, cherry profile, 7 different colors. Okay.
That's too many colors for me.
okay, there's die sub.
Probably PBT dice up or PBT
Yeah, they're
double
PBT
shot,
dice.
like
They
the
are,
ones
they
that
are.
they make for. Okay, got it.
Ooh,
But yeah,
it comes in
but I
white
mean, they're
ice.
always called they're always called premium. So like
Everything is
that's
premium. This is a premium show, don't you know? Premium keyboards
price.
tonight. Premium scuff.
Anyway,
It's insane.
Speaking of premium scuff, we're almost at the end of the show, but we have one more segment to go through.
Yeah.
Typically, shows like this might have an option of choices in regards to the last bit to end the show. A bit of a this or that, if you will. But instead, we're going to end our show with the question, this or that? Okay. Who's ready for this or that?
Yeah.
Are you guys ready for this or that?
oh
I'm
yeah,
ready.
hold on.
I'm
Do I need to turn on? I need to look at the screen for this.
Are you turned on your screen?
Yep.
Okay, let's do this or that. First up on this or that. This or that. Better key set. GMK Polybius or GMK Awaken.
Oh, we had a good discussion when we were spoiler bringing this up beforehand. People were saying 2 for Awaken. Neither Polybius.
let me. I'm gonna look at the renders for the both.
Don't worry, there's a pull up, everyone.
I want to hear before I say my statement what chat reasoning for picking one.
You're gonna be a
over-
react Andy of chat.
I want no. I want to see other people's justification because I want to make sure that like it's covered. Because I think that opinion is gonna come out Polybius, but kind of gaudy. Neither. Chat vote 50-50. This is crazy.
It's actually pretty close.
This is cool. I've never chat disagreeing.
This
with
is
themselves.
actually okay. Personally, I prefer the more muted, the more subtle, like alphas look of Polybius because it's not so bright. I think Awaken's very busy and bright at the same time, so I do prefer that.
I think
But
Awaken is the
I think some of
cyberpunk
Awaken's
set.
novelties are kind of interesting, but
I think Awaken is a cyberpunk set that like is actually good. Unlike those
for
other.
me, neither is really
Yeah, I like the
this is this or that. You have to choose.
Okay, if I
wanna
had
go,
to choose one, probably Polybius for me.
I'm gonna go Awaken for
Interesting.
the opposite reason. I like the alphas on Awaken a lot. I'm not necessarily a fan of the novelties as much either. I just don't really love the Polybius mods at all. Also, I was a little disappointed because if you look at Polybius,
But
if you look at the history of what Polybius is, right? It's like the machine that never existed, right? But if you look at all the like the meme images of it, is like they have this really iconic
In neon blue, right?
yeah, the neon blue hue, and none of it or very little of it is present on Polybius itself. Like I thought, I would have bet my life on it without seeing this render that was going to be the blue for the alphas, and it wasn't there, and it's incredibly disappointing, right? Because if you took away the novelties, nothing about Polybius tells you that it's for Polybius, right? I don't think there's an argument for it. Whereas Awaken is like interpretations, whatever you want.
Yeah, Awaken definitely has a bit more of a thematic thing going for it.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
still
it's a bit
busy. I
busy
think
for
it's
me.
one of the more busy sets.
It's a bit busy
very
for me.
crowded.
Yeah.
Chat is almost 50-50. Wow, it's 12-10.
Oh my god, Polybius pulling out.
This
You
is a tough
guys
choice.
have trashed. Imagine
50-50.
That's actually
Imagine
I'm quite
Fast
minus-
surprised.
imaginary gaming
There's an error
cabinet.
bar.
It's better to fantasize over imaginary 2D waifus than it is imaginary gaming cabinet. You guys are crazy. Crazy.
Big true, big true. Well, it
comparison.
looks like chat is going to choose GMK Polybius by a 14-11 majority. Diego, you're going for Polybius, and Hugo, you're going for Awaken.
I'm that today.
Yeah, I would have gone. I think I would have.
I think this is very sweet. That was 50-50 too, so only fair
Okay,
that
you
we
guys ready
split.
for what's next?
Sure.
Next
ready.
up, this or that. Better key set. GMK Shanshui or GMK Muted 2.
Oh, I'm done choosing.
You gotta
I'm
tell
done
it.
choosing. Honestly, I prefer Shanshui because it's novel. It's something
Oh, but you
new.
didn't.
And
Okay.
I mean, it's not that muted isn't. It's not that muted like looks bad or anything, but muted looks great. Okay, like I love the accents on muted and all that. Also, I actually don't like accent space bars like it's on that render. I actually hate that look. Sorry, it's true though.
Just like,
yeah.
But Shanshui I think is just pretty cool because like it brings the whole like the entire modifier like kit having like the characters and stuff. I think that's pretty cool. That's sort of new. I think that trend is catching up a bit more, and I think that's pretty. And like another new set of like sub legend characters. I mean, I'm a sucker for sub legends, to be honest. And white and black just looks good on like everything anyway. So like,
You're a huge
so I think
sub.
for me that's like a no question.
Isn't Shan Shui also having a mono legend kit too with the?
They do have a mono
yeah.
legend kit if you want. Yeah, and simplified. I think it's in simplified.
Chat
Yes,
is
it's-
50-50. And
Yeah,
chat
it's
is
50-50
so
for
that is
between
wrong
both sets right now.
100% time. Oh my god. If you're someone who's clicking muted too, then you don't own muted one, right? Like you just non-muted one owners. Look, muted is great, okay? I just
Oh, that makes sense too. I own muted,
I also unmuted.
so
I'm
that's
going
why.
I want that new stuff. Okay. You don't own muted one, you're picking muted. And you rightfully you should, okay? Because that's an iconic, like that's a must have, right? You got a keyboard that's a weird color, throw muted on it. Okay, it's probably gonna work. I would say it's one of the most versatile sets that doesn't have 3 different accent kits. It only has the one and it's good enough. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if you own anything similar to muted, then I think Sanctuary is better. Because the fact that it's one, not a Weeb Legend subset, which is really nice. It's not a Russian, sub legend, also nice, right? It's like kind of new, kind of different, and if we have enough of them, we won't have what happened to GMK Red Dragon. So there we go.
Oof.
Oh man.
Well, it looks like.
I mean, one thing that's really cool about muted is R5 inclusion. Is
Oh yeah,
awesome.
R5 is kind of a.
I
Big,
mean,
big deal for me too.
I have muted R1, okay, but I want to buy muted R2 because of R5, just because of R5.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat.
Like I'm that kind of excessive person in the sense that like I would take R5 and buy a second set, then miss out and not have R5
Yeah.
Oh, someone pointed out something really
and
good.
save myself $150, whatever that is.
Someone pointed out something really good. Is that if we make
Wow.
Sanctuary really popular, is that the more Chinese sub-legend kits there are, the bigger China money will feed into our hobby, which is the benefit for everyone.
Probably true. Chat, by the way, the poll
Actually,
ended exactly
good-
50-50 for percentages. Same amount of
Finally
votes.
get rid
It's
of
actually a good
Yeah, we can finally get rid of SA because we can just slap Chinese sub-legends on every other kit.
Someone asked what's so special about R5. R5 is has
Auger.
the so like on a lot of OG Cherry, so R5 is actually like part of the full sculpted Cherry profile for the bottom row. So R5 is what originally was on Cherry profile when it was first made. R0 is actually part of that too, but R0 is actually very niche. Actually, R0 is
It's super
way
niche.
more rare in OG boards than R1 is. So like I would say like the vast majority of original boards will have 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep.
Which is basically what Muted has. And for example, like ASCII or like GMK Carbon Round 2 have row 0 through 5. I personally have tried row 0 as well, but I thought that row 0 was a bit tall and a bit too slanted, like kind of like my way. So like I didn't enjoy it as much. It kind of felt a lot more. Actually, it felt a lot more like OEM profile. That's how I felt about it. But R5 is great because I personally really like how it looks from the side. And typing wise, I actually don't feel the discomfort that some people feel about R5, which actually normally comes from if you bend your wrist down like this when you're typing, like basically if you're not floating your wrist enough, then sometimes people say that your thumbs will hit the edge of the R5 bottom row key, which is what makes it uncomfortable. But for me, that's not uncomfortable at all. But yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good.
That's a
I mean, like,
really
I
good
think it was
explanation.
mixed up because most people type with terrible form, which is
Yeah.
why you see like the prominence of super ultra low profile keyboards, right? Because those are literally built for people who flat palm, right, like on their desk. So if you're one of those people, then yeah, R5 is really just not for you. It's just like that's just it. It's like it just doesn't. It's not for you. But if you're,
I also want to, yeah.
yeah, go for
Go
it.
ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say if you're a floater, Korean wrist floater, and you're okay with 11-degree duckboards, like this shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I also want to clarify why R5 is for me such a big deal. It's not just because of the OG factor, actually. It's because for GMK, R5 was a rarity. The reason for that was because R5 was initially only available for 1.5U mods and maybe 1U keys like on the numpad and stuff, and the numpad enter, right?
And the
Or like the
arrows.
arrow keys. So basically, you could only use that like 7U bottom row layout with with R5, but it was up to until just recently, like basically 2 years ago now, or a year and a half ago, or something like that, right? With GMK Carbon Round 2. GMK Carbon Round 2 was the first set to make R5 molds for everything. 1.25U like bottom row keys, 1.5U bottom row keys. So it actually expanded the compatibility fully to bottom row like matching. So actually the last set before um Carbon Round 2 that had incomplete R5 was GMK TA90. And then after that, Carbon Round 2 came in and was like, Tom Berry was like, if I'm going to do R5, I'm going to do it properly and I'm going to add all of the new molds in. And so that's what made it possible. And so that's for me, I was like, if we've made this new set of molds, we should use them, right? We should actually use them, and we should actually make more key sets with this new stuff, because before we weren't able to do it, people actually always, like a lot of people, at least like on old Geek Hack, right? People would be like, oh, can we do row A profile, which is what it was called before too. Like,
Yeah.
you can call it row A because you used to be like A B C D, like from the bottom top. But row 5 or row A, people would advocate for it, but people wouldn't do it because basically it would destroy the compatibility between 6.25U and 7U basically. But now that's not the case. You can actually do full compatibility with R5, and it's not a problem anymore. So I personally think we should have a lot more sets with R5 because it's available. Like, why not use it?
I agree.
You think it should just be like an add-on kit rather than part of the main
Nope,
kit?
in base, full set, full send, in base. Get rid of ISO and put in row 5 instead. It's more. It makes more sense.
Well, what about caps?
And yeah, people do argue that it's more expensive. Like, I mean, because I don't know, GMK just has. I mean, GMK price table. The way GMK like a quote formula works is actually it's a black box. You submit your quote request and it just comes out,
Yep.
right? So you actually don't know how they're priced. It's not priced per key, certainly not. It's not priced per specific volume. I mean, specific volume, yes, like a number of kits for each like a number of sets that you buy per kit, like sure, but it's not like it's not gonna scale linearly. Like, oh, I added 3 keys, so it should go up by X amount times 3 or something like that.
It just
so
goes.
you just have to design your kit in what you think is the best way possible, and submit it and see like how it comes out, and then see how it scales up too. Because nowadays, like you guys have seen that we've seen some group buys with like up to thousands of kits bought after extras. So it's entirely possible that you could do this whole like R5 and R0.
Yeah, we've seen some vendors who
kits
exclusively
with
sell
good
1,000 kit
scaling.
plus.
Yeah.
You know,
And
so
so right now, I think it's really a great opportunity to do these new sets because we have the volume now. We actually have buyer volume to actually purchase like more R0, more R5, more new stuff that we haven't done before, that we wouldn't have been able to because it's just prohibitively expensive. I mean, this is what GMK's history is about. Like 2016, no one did GMK because it was just too expensive. MOQs were dirty high.
Like once a year, you get GMK kit.
you're
set.
lucky to start a GMK set.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were lucky to hit 150. 250 was like, let's dream of hitting 250.
Yeah, those are just pipe dreams. People were like, 250. How about 200? How about 198 kits? We can make that.
Why is
barely.
pricing so vague? Because it's a company. It's capitalism.
It's
Those
also
things are not
private.
gonna be. It's not gonna be disclosed, because if it's disclosed, then it's basically informing the competition how to operate.
Yep.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense, especially for such a keycap manufacturing powerhouse like GMK, to release their information, like insider info, because it's only going to feed the market in a way that works against them, right? As in the competition.
Really,
so
the
for
only
GMK,
people...
it makes zero sense to release their trade secret.
Yeah, the only
right?
people who would benefit are people who are smaller than GMK to use it to demonstrate they're cheaper than GMK. Therefore, you should go with them. But as like the biggest player right now in that space for us, they're like, no, we don't care.
Yeah.
Send us,
ABS
and
double
we'll tell you
shot.
how much it is.
Cherry profile, like all that. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, that was a really good conversation for Row 5, GMK Shanshui, Muted 2, and a lot of other stuff. Thank you for the information. Now we have another this or that coming up. Are you two ready for the next?
That's
this
why
or
we
that?
bring him on.
That's why we
Yeah.
bring it on.
Damn it. Yeah.
This or that better key set: GMK Serica 2 or GMK Greg.
This is the unironic meme hard one. Like I don't fault anyone for choosing Greg. Okay, I don't fault anyone for choosing Greg. Come on.
I have a very hard time with this one.
If anyone says this is an easy pick, you are literally wrong. Okay, there's no other way to say it.
Okay. So, two things. Both of them have yellow, different yellows. I like
And different
both yellows a
whites.
lot. And different whites too, yeah. First of all, I own Serica R1, but Serica Round 2, the appeal for me, I'll go pros and cons actually. Pros for Serica Round 2, kit pricing is a banger. $110 US.
Oh, for the
that
base?
full compatibility in the base kit. Holy shit. It's so good. It's so
Yeah.
cheap compared to like any previous buys. I mean, $100 for TK only kits out there for
Sorry,
vendors to do that.
numpad.
But numpad droppers, sorry about that. But 110 for like numpad and all this extended compatibility, it's a no-brainer.
I
It's such
think
a
he
good
reduced the
bang for buck.
price to make up for people because he sold the incorrect number earlier in Circle 1 because it was scuffed,
Yeah.
remember? So,
Yeah.
Oh,
And
imagine
then-
me telling people who didn't know that and they didn't buy Circa 2 because they just had Circa 1 and thought it was fine. Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, Serica Round 2 has fixed Japanese legends, fixed hiragana legends. So for those who are interested in the hiragana base kit, obviously there's the Latin base kit too, but yeah, the fixed oh wow, there's a raid.
Oh no, wait. Just as soon as we
Um,
end. Wait, you gotta replay all the clips. This is your chance, Huey.
But yeah,
You can make it big
they're-
here.
anyway, so Serica Round 2 I think it's really nice. A bang for the buck, great set. But I have bias for Greg because one of my friends, like one of my IRL friends, Champ Lemon, he and Pancake, right? They co-designed GMK Greg, and so
and now beg for Greg, the iconic.
yeah, and I actually I think it's a fun meme. Like it's like it they actually portrayed it on that like render, for example, right now so nicely.
I think this is the
Like-
this render like sold me on it because like you see it
Yeah.
and you're like, man, this is so hot trash, but it's the best hot trash I've ever seen. In this,
Exactly. It's a good meme. And like they,
Yeah, it's-
I mean, not sure. Did you see how they expanded it to like the Alice layout too?
Oh, and with the red eye option and like and they have the serious option, like you like just the yellow. Here's an option to have normal.
You can get
Color-
A normal
you can
set.
get all. Yeah,
Yeah, for
all
a couple
yellow
bucks only,
base
it's
and
not even that
black.
much more expensive. It's like $40 for the full set, and you have Greg when you want a meme. Like it's an amazing set.
So, as an owner of Circa Round 1, I would choose Greg, but as someone who also wants Circa, I mean, I actually bought both. I bought Circa
Same, I bought
Round
both.
2 because
Damn.
I wanted to fix Hiragana, and I bought Greg because I want to support my friend, and also because
Fair.
I think the meme is pretty funny.
Did he
right? Like, if anything,
unironically
I can
anime?
always like rate up the set if I have to, but like I just wanted to, and
Diego
I
with
like
the power
meme,
of
so.
friendship anime arc. I
I
never
know.
thought this was coming.
I do
Um,
like supporting my friends' projects because I just
Yeah.
think they put so much work into them. And I
Wait,
think it's
before
just
all the
nice to
ramen
do
champ
that.
raiders leave, you got to play back a video. So
We'll
they
play them back
stay.
at the end. We're doing this.
Oh, only if they deserve to stay. Yeah, you're right. True. Okay,
big
I
shot.
choose Greg here. I bought both. I think both are fine answers.
Yeah, I'm
It's
going.
a face, LMAO. Yeah, it's the god face. Okay.
I'm going personally with chat, which chat chose GMK Serica 2 at 59% to 41.
Yikes.
Yeah, that's a good choice. So
That's a
it's
pretty
a
good
fine
choice.
choice.
Balboards, hello. Hi.
Okay, here we go to the next
Yes.
this or that. Would you rather plastic tray mount, no big O-ring, you must use all the mounting points, or a bent metal case that's not from HMKB?
No.
Oh, I'm done choosing.
Oh,
What's your
man.
choice?
Bring the reason for it.
Is he going to pick up the reason for it? He is. He owns one. He's biased. I choose the plastic case. Easy for me.
Yeah, I mean, Yeah, I would choose the plastic case too. I mean, I
Yeah,
have a
plastic
FL, which is
100% of
also
the time.
tray mount, no O-ring. I use all the mounts and all that stuff. But more importantly, even if it's plastic, I actually think it's okay. I've done it before. One of my
Here's-
first few custom builds, like when I first was starting, was actually like a 60% like that, and it worked fine. I don't like the look of low pro. I just hate that like exposed
Yeah,
surface.
low pros are disgusting.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
It just looks so
I'm
bad.
so glad that fat is over in customs. If you're, I think it looks good for like norming keyboards, but if you've got custom, like the big tall keycaps for low pro, man, that looks really bad.
Well, that
Right,
was
like,
mostly
if-
just a trend for prosumers more
Yeah,
than like
I
actual.
liked the low profile thing for like actual low profile keyboards. Like the whole thing has to be all with the same design language. But like the moment you mix match like full SA caps on a low pro, it's like, wait, dude, what are you doing? Like this ain't it. I like the plastic mount tray. Look, guys, people who say plastic is cheap, it is, and that's bad for the environment, it is. But like, it doesn't sound that bad. Most of like, it sounds good with Topper. It's like people make polycarbonate cases all the time that are expensive. People buy the crap out of it, right? Like, you can't say there's no demand for a plastic board, and like just because it's tray mount is not an excuse.
Yeah,
It's communal hate for integrated plate. Yeah, fuck internal plates. All my
Pretty
homies hate
much.
internal plates.
pretty much. All my homies
All-
hate integrated
Every
plates.
single one of my homies hate integrated plates.
Damn.
I don't know if you guys use your if you guys made a
Oh,
new
and it's
custom
even a mod.
plastic
Plastic-
tray mount right now, what plate would you use? If you've built one
Oh.
right now,
If I had built one now, I would use
Polycarb
either-
plate.
or a CF plate because I think that noise is interesting.
Oh, CF sounds
Yeah.
interesting.
that sounds
Yeah.
I'd go,
Actually, a CF plate with like a tactiles or something. Ooh.
Ooh,
Yeah, because
okay.
it has an extra zing to it. It's
Fuck,
nice.
sort of
Ooh.
feels.
I'm
yeah,
fucking.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
not a
I
bad
just
choice.
think it's bad to go like metal and plastic because I think it's just the wrong idea. But
I think a alu half plate would be decent in a plastic tray mount. To be honest.
yeah, not a full plate, like not a full metal plate. I think.
Mhm.
Well,
I mean,
we got,
maybe
like,
alu, but yeah, still.
like 25 seconds left on the poll, but it's pretty overwhelming.
It's pretty
74% plastic tray mount to 26% a bent metal case.
I'll be back.
Okay.
Yeah, I think bent metal case would be fine if, sorry, SKB, the SKB series of boards, those were good when they ran and when they actually shipped.
When they
sorry,
ship.
heavy metal keyboards, people.
Yeah,
if you're
sorry, but
participating in that
but
buy.
ship your stuff
But-
out, and people won't like shit on you. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I like round one. I was in
Yeah.
round one. It took forever, but the keyboard itself is good.
Yeah, I actually just recently got rid of my SKB. I sent it out already. But yeah.
Nice.
It was good while it lasted, though. It was actually a pretty good board for. I use it for work.
Ooh. I guess I got the
Yeah.
poll
we're waiting
command
for
ready
Hugo.
for the next one. Once Hugo gets back. Hugo. And for everyone
One day my
who
8H
rated,
MKB.
who's new to the show's called Keyboards Tonight, which is kind of a keyboard
Back.
variety show that I host with Hugo and our eternal guest Diego. So if you rated, feel free to stick to the end. We have actually some interesting clips we'll show you guys at the end after this
Yeah,
segment.
you guys missed out, but we'll show it just because you guys stayed.
Okay, the next this or that is, I think it's the final one as well. For 1 week, would you rather type on a randomly mixed PBT and ABS cherry profile sets, or type on XDA profile?
Oh, dude, easy.
Is that fake dots
Easy
and
response.
dots? Is that
That's
your
fake
like?
dots and dots. Correct.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, that dots
Dude.
is so ugly.
This response is too easy for me. I would choose right off the bat cherry profile mixed PBT ABS. You know why? Because I actually do mixed PBT ABS on my OG cherry stuff. Because the ISO stuff doesn't have pipe and left shift. So I just use an enter, right? So I just use that. I mix with ABS. And also XDA profile is so bad for me. Like I just hate.
Is
I
it the
remember
flat
I
but
ordered-
extra tall?
It's the
Oh.
no. It's the
That's
extra
really short.
flat DSA profile. It's the
Oh.
short, like it's basically just like DSA. but
Oh, it's not even
flatter.
like convex. Ooh.
I I hated XDA. The reason, no, it is slightly convex.
It's so
but-
slightly, but like you'd have to look for
Yeah.
it before you notice it.
It's so what you're saying. It's like it's basically as flat earthers say. Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not like the dips of the earth, but it's basically flat. Like,
Yeah, I mean, this is how bad XDA was for me. I got it. When did I get XDA? I got it I got XDA from Jay Chan's run of XDA. That was the first XDA run, I think.
Yikes.
And I was really excited for it because it had the Chinese characters. What was that? It was like the Empire set or whatever. No, it was like, I forget, but it was like this Chinese set, and there was like the Star Wars set and whatever, right? But it was like this XDA set, and I got it. I opened the package up, literally opened one of the packets, put it on like a pad that I had, like a numpad or something. Immediately put it back in the bag, and put it on Mech Market. Immediately.
flipping since day one.
I actually sold it at cost.
quick
I actually
flip.
sold it at cost. I actually sold it at cost. And so I was just like, nope, not for me. Just like immediately, I was just like, no, never
I don't think I've
again.
typed on anything.
I would much rather use DSA, which I actually do have a set of DSA Skull Squadron, and I
fancy.
usually had DSA Hana, but I don't anymore. Yeah, so I would much rather use DSA
set.
than that.
Yeah, I own one DSA set. I find it just tolerable enough for what I have.
Yeah, I have one as well.
It's more like I honor the kit more than me liking the profile.
I honor kind of like the theme of the set more than DSA, which is DSA Galaxy class, because I like Star Trek.
Yeah, and
That's a good one.
I like
Yeah,
Hyperlight Drifters. That's why I have DSA Hyperlight Drifter.
DSA had some really good themed sets in general.
Oh my god, yeah, the colors are so banger on DSA, but like it's just like, man, can you just choose a different profile one time? I
Yeah.
think Cat
actually
kind
not
of
as
moved into
bad.
that realm, right?
The what?
The Cat profile has kind of moved to that realm where like people really want to go crazy on the designs there because it's just so much
Yeah,
cheaper.
it's because they MOQ by total number of keycaps.
Yeah,
and they
which
don't
is-
have any
yeah.
restrictions on how many kits you have. That's why you have
Yeah,
like
it's actually
cat
obscene.
key set group
Kinda-
buys with
kinda
like 26
wild.
kits, which
Which is
so-
also why the kitting is so trash on most Cat sets
because they have no
just don't have
incentive to
restric-
like optimize their kits. Their
Yeah,
only
there's no-
incentive is just let's just poop
Right.
them out randomly, which is I guess it's fine because the factory's willing to make them like that. It's just like annoying as a consumer going through the list of like, what do I actually need again?
Oh, they added restrictions now. Thank God,
Oh,
because
thank
like
God.
yeah, people were gonna milk the crap out of that. There's no way they're profitable with some of those sets, or like not like optimally profitable for some of those sets.
And the
Yeah.
poll is over 75 to 25% for cherry profile mixed plastics. I mean
Yeah,
mixed
this-
plastics randomly, as in your Q, W, E,
That's
R might
okay.
alternate between
That's
ABS,
fine.
PBC.
I don't
That's
care.
fine.
I would rather
You know
that.
what? You know what? This is gonna be a nuclear level take. I think. I don't think most normal people can tell. Like probably we can tell. I don't think most people can tell that when it's mixed together.
Yeah, I hate
Like,
that
and
you're
if you don't
I
tell
hate
them.
I hate you're probably right.
Because like they're gonna be like, oh, it's just a difference in like how looped the switch was. Like yeah, they're never gonna think otherwise. Like unless there's textural differences on top.
I mean there is textual differences.
No, like if they were perfectly okay, let's pretend they were both perfectly shine smooth. Like I
Yeah.
don't think these people could tell. I don't think they could tell. I'll put money on it.
I don't know.
New PPT versus shined AF ABS. Okay, that's a little
That's a
triggering.
hu-
then.
that's the huge difference, yeah.
Oh, that's yikers for me.
The huge yikers difference. Well, that's it for what we have for this or that. But since we had some people who decided
Welcome,
to
Raiders.
come in from the raid, welcome everyone from Ramen's raid. I'll show you guys, I guess, some one of the skits
One
the
of
skits
our
we did
skits
earlier.
today.
What do you guys want to do?
Yeah.
You guys want to look at? We'll let chat decide because there's
have
so many
three-
people
how many
in chat
skits
who
we
are
have?
new.
Yeah.
I'll do a poll. Oops, that's not the right command. This is the right commands. Which bit to watch first? They're called
Well, we only
Knob
do this one time, okay?
Watch 2021
Oh, the
and
gun one.
Hidden cost of keyboards. Do
Yeah.
1 minute poll, quick.
Quick, you guys only get one video. The gun one. Yeah, do you want to jump my intro on the other one? Because yikes.
It's 50-50. Oh, now it's
50-50?
shifting. You know, for a really scuffed stream, this one actually didn't
And then
didn't go too bad.
Because
wasn't a train wreck.
Diego is so interesting. The most interesting man.
So at least we know we know the full extent we can take our procrastination for this show.
I don't want to do that. I'm too stressed.
You mean you don't want to shoot and edit on the same
I
earlier today?
honestly wanted to kill myself. Like once I got into post, I was like, "Holy fuck, never again." Like shooting was all right, but shooting is always kind of all right. Editing is not all
Shooting's all right for you because you actually have a shooter.
kind of. I could have had a tripod this time.
Imagine
Okay.
having like an extra set of arms.
I know, right? I think it's so much done if I don't.
Imagine not being Garces level filming, just filming yourself. I wish I was that cool.
Yeah, I'm not that cool. Well,
I would change if that was true. If I was the only person shooting, I would change how I write skits entirely.
That's
Right?
fair.
'Cause I'm running with the assumption of how I'm going to control it.
Okay, we're gonna watch the hidden cost of keyboards, which we showed earlier. We're just gonna get into it. Rolling the clip.
After a young man was found broke in the streets, begging to trade a keyboard for a month's worth of rent, we discovered they were part of this hobby known as custom mechanical keyboards, a hobby that is sweeping a few hundreds of individuals across the globe. And apparently, it's all the rage, some professionals earning serious money. But can a hobby really cause someone to spiral out of control financially? We take a look at what the real cost truly is.
Please, I'm so hungry. $2,000 for a keyboard? Dude, I can get this off Amazon for like $10. Why would anyone do this?
We brought in a custom keyboard builder and asked him what additional cost he encountered. So how much have you actually spent on your tools here? Probably $300 to $400. I mean, like this solder iron, the TS100, yeah, it only cost me $120. I mean, I started with a $40 one, but the moment I saw Wildcat continue to use this one, I knew I had to upgrade. I mean, I can't just be seen using a $40 iron for a $2,000 board. What about those tools over there? Oh, these? Yeah, so this is my wear a screwdriver set. I mean, it costs like $80, but I mean, if I'm going to be screwing in and out a lot, I might as well have the nicest screws possible. I mean, I started with this iFixit kit, but we're not really fixing anything here because we're building pieces of art. Now, you may be wondering about shipping. Surely, a hobby as innocent as this one has reasonably priced shipping, but the answer may surprise you. And do you actually get free shipping? Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff off Amazon, the shipping is free, which is pretty nice. I mean, these dumbbells I got for free. I can't go to the gym, so, gotta work out at home. So, yeah, it's been pretty great. Well, what about the actual keyboard? Oh, well, this? Yeah, this only costs about $90 to ship from Singapore. I mean, it's a pretty good steal. Is it? Yeah, that is a pretty good steal. Considering I only got it for 2.75 times the original price, I mean, $90 is basically pocket change. And this thing is like, I don't know, 12 kilos. I mean, the heavier, the better, because heavier is quality. And I don't want to just cheap out on budget shipping.
As you can see, the rabbit hole runs deep. But what if their pockets run even deeper? We look at someone who has spent even more on tools.
So what can you actually tell me about what you have over there?
This is the FR301, the best gun for non-Americans and the 9th safest gun for Americans.
What do you mean by that?
Well, this is a gun I can take to school without appearing on the nightly news. But honestly, a gun like this is the best. It has everything you need. Wonderful trigger action, ergonomic shape and design. You need to get a good $300 tool to build $1,500 keyboards, because that's the way you do it. But hey, as long as you're building over 60%, this is the perfect tool for you.
And what do you mean by that?
Come on. If you're a 40%, if you're a little pipsqueak, right? Just use a solder sucker, baby. Just use your solder sucker. Get that thumb action going on. Bro, for all the big boys, can't go wrong with a gun.
And that's all I have for now. Up next, 3 people dead in a switch swallowing contest. Organizer blames contestants for not lubing their throats with premium grease. Yo, Hugo! Yo, there's a guy selling a key code. Yeah, 2,000. PayPal shipped. Yeah, it's Canadian. Yeah. Okay, I'll see you there. Okay, bye.
Yeah, I love that. I love that skit, Hugo. The glasses fog.
Thank you. The glasses fog. It is cold outside. Okay, you want me to go onto location and have clean everything?
No one asked
No,
you to
I
go on
feel that, though.
vacation, but props to you for going on vacation, on location, going to the city.
It just
Okay,
sucks wearing a
before-
mask while wearing glasses.
Yeah, it's the worst. Wait,
Yeah.
real quick before chat thinks otherwise. Look, the Hako is the best single desolder gun, but it's not the best desoldering tool in the game. Like for sure not. There's way more premium stuff. But
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, yeah,
just for keyboards is this probably as high as you'll go.
it's more than enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing about Hako, right, is like every single part of it is replaceable. Even the PCB you can replace. You can open it
Yeah.
up and replace the PCB if you want it.
But I
Hako
will say
sells
Hako's
every single
interfaces
component.
are the worst that I've ever used. Like their soldering interface is actually the dumbest thing I've ever seen. The fact
The
that you can't
digital
go
one?
down, the fact you can't go down on the slightly cheaper model is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. You can only go up, and the only way you can go down to a lower temperature is if you cycle all the way through.
Cycle
It's
back, yeah.
so fucking stupid. Can
Yep.
confirm. Yep, all the interfaces are trash. But the electronics are good inside. So and it's Tonka truck colored. So okay, I think you want to relive your knob bit
Sure.
for chat now. Yeah. Do it.
Chat. Here's gonna be the knob bit. Hello everyone, Huberto here with Knobwatch 2021. There have been a lot of keyboards in the last couple years afflicted with knobs, as we've all seen. Whether it's one knob, two knobs, or even boards with three knobs, we've seen them. On 60%, Alice layouts, TKLs, and whatever other layouts people find popular for whatever reason, it's bad. Okay, it's bad. A large player that's been recently afflicted by the knob is the GMMK Pro. But this isn't the first time we've seen a knob from a larger player. Corsair and Cooler Master have had knobs in their K series and MK850 respectively. Corsair's affliction has even gone worse with the K100. It has two different knobs. Sure, in the past they've tried to hide their knobs with some cosmetic surgery, but you know a knob when you see one. With all these knobs appearing everywhere, what is the World Keyboard Organization doing about this epidemic? We've seen very little in the international community against the rise of knobs. Already, there's been a tragedy in so many communities around the world. Earlier in the month, I talked to a victim of the knobs.
The knobs. They came so fast. At first, when we saw one knob in our village, we didn't think too much of it. I mean, knobs will be knobs is what we all thought, but before we knew it, the next door neighbors, they were knobbed. The week after that neighborhood. And after a whole month, I heard our whole village is already knobbed. I fled early before it got really bad. I have a family to look after. My little angel. She's at 40%, and imagine just how devastating a knob would be on her. It pains me to even think about. Our government just hasn't given us enough support in these trying times, and that makes it tough. I'm worried about letting my angel go to school because there could be some keyboards walking around unaware that they're carrying the knob, and well, next thing you know, she brings the knob home, and my mother, who's old, is, well, I hate to have my daughter responsible for that. Please open your eyes, everyone. Be careful. Be careful before the knobs get you.
Another tragic story due to knobs, and unfortunately, the story doesn't end there. As a routine follow-up after the interview, my staff tried to contact our guest, but unfortunately, he'd caught the knob, and it was already too late. We best recommend avoid getting the knob. We highly recommend you refrain from any sexual activity with your keyboard. I'm Huberto with Knobwatch 2021. Back to the studio. I really don't know what I was thinking with that skit, to be honest. 'Cause I wrote it last night and I recorded it about 6 hours ago.
Actually,
No, I wrote it this morning, actually.
I remember you messaged me saying when I was gonna go to sleep, and then you told me, like, yeah, we're gonna have a conference at 3 a.m.
I'm like,
to
nope.
read
Oh
you the
my
script. I
God.
did it. I submitted. I pinged you, and
Yeah, I
you
was
were
like, nope, I'm
gone.
done.
I worked my ass off. Lightning needs to do a skit. Lightning helps edit skits, so in a way, he does help.
Yeah. I didn't do too much this time around, but yeah.
It's okay. You were our guest this round. It's like every
Mhm.
round. Look, he does the unedited R5 skit, and that's all we ask for.
Well, everyone, thank you so much for watching Keyboards tonight. I'm Man of Interest. You're on my channel right now, but hey, don't forget to check out Hugo's channel and Lightning's channel, especially both of them when they go on. Lightning is getting pretty close for that Twitch partnership, so make sure when you see him go live, you go watch and you help our man get to that partner status. I mean, you can watch Hugo too. He's not anywhere near getting a partner, but watch him too.
I'm halfway there. Don't give me that. I'm actually halfway there. But yeah, like if you want to help check me out, I don't stream as often because I also do other stuff. But yeah, come check us out. We'll try to be on once a month. I don't know if that's always going to be the case.
No, it's always going to be the case. 2021 resolution.
Oh my god.
We're gonna have keyboards.
12 of these streams. Oh
both of you guys were like, we can't make it this week. No way. I'm like, we're doing it this week. We're doing it today, and it happened. Obviously, we just have to be more prepared ahead of time if you don't want your life, the last Friday of the week of the month to become hell. We just gotta, gotta optimize.
Yeah, big true.
Optimize. Well, you guys hopefully know me. I have stuff on YouTube, and I do stream on Twitch occasionally, but I don't have like a super concrete schedule. So if you just pop a follow, you'll see me when I go live whenever I do. But if you want to keep track of most of my content, it's most all on YouTube. YouTube.com/man of interest. But hey, don't forget to, make sure you're following all three of us if you aren't already on whatever related platforms.
And don't forget our actual YouTube channel for the show.
Yes, we have one. I should post it. I don't even know.
Yeah. So come watch our biggest meme clips or just the meme clip themselves for fun. Please subscribe.
I need to link it. We have only 122 subscribers.
We need you to smash that subscribe button and smash that like button for our algorithm.
Tonight channel, yeah.
Yeah, do it.
And we've as many people, almost as many people in chat right now as
yeah, I want to see the sub numbers double, much like the GME stock. All right.
Well, everyone, thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you next month in the next Keyboards Tonight episode. I'm Man of Interest, joined by Hugo and our guest, Diego. Have a wonderful night, everyone.
See ya.
See ya.